Right then, Ali Wally, what have you got for me today?
Well, I've got a right treat for you, Chrissy Wissy.
Okay.
We've got the MV Agusta Enduro Veloce. Now, if one was to say MV Agusta make an adventure bike, this is kind of exactly how I envisaged it. I love the fact that it hasn't got a beak. I'm a big fan that it hasn't got a beak.
Yeah, it's
adventure bikes.
T7-ish, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first thing I look at is the slightly sort of droop, the eyes.
They're a bit sad, aren't they?
They're a bit sad.
Yeah.
What motor and stuff has this got in it?
Well, Chris,
what sort of sector are we in?
Thanks for asking. So we're talking kind of middleweight to heavyweight, sort of in between. It's a 931cc triple engine.
So Desert X-ish.
Yeah, you could say, yeah. 931cc inline triple. It says it's a new engine, so obviously it's a build on what MV have done previously with the inline, with the triples, because obviously I think pretty much every bike they do now is a triple.
It's all they can do. I think the Brutale gets away with it.
Yes.
That's still the F4 platform somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how they've managed that. And the Rush.
The Enduro Veloce pays tribute to a story that dates back almost 80 years. Do you know that, Chris?
Wow.
It was with the 98, ridden by Vincenzo Nencioni, that the company first won a race, the Golfo di La Spezia, off-road regularity race on October the 8th, 1946. 3 years later, several regularity motorcycles were prepared to participate in the British Six Days, a race that saw the great Carlo Ubbiala score MV Agusta's its first international victory. Basically, MV are giving us a bit of a nugget in this PDF. So they're paying homage to the off-road capability previously known in the MV Agusta in 1946 actually. So I mean,
well, that's when did the war end? 45,
yeah.
So
everyone was having fun in 1946. Everyone was like, "Wait, let's go racing."
Yeah.
The new Enduro Veloce is the embodiment of MV Agusta's key values: 100% Italian manufacturing, craftsmanship, engineering excellence, and high performance, all in a motorcycle that represents the manufacturer's original take on the adventure bike segment. It's definitely their own take, I will say that. I mean, you cannot make an adventure bike without looking too dissimilar to an adventure bike. We can say, of all the manufacturers, I thought MV would come out with something a little bit whoa.
I mean, so are you done with some facts for now?
For the moment, yeah. You weighed in with your big hitters. Go on.
It's not even big hitter. It's just. So I'd like to know some numbers.
Yes.
You might be able to help me out. Not necessarily on this bike, but generally.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like
right.
everyone, Desert X, Touareg, this, F900, all the manufacturers, Tenere, they're all this. They seem to be like all of these bikes seem to be. There's a lot of interest from the manufacturer. I'd like to know how many they're selling. I mean, they wouldn't be making them if they didn't think it was a business model. But I get a bit like on that F900 video I did the other week. This is the much closer to where adventure segment actually sits. Like the big GSs, the big Multistradas, the big KTMs, they're touring, aren't they? They're adventure touring.
Yeah.
Whereas these are a bit more capable. But I just wonder what the market is, because how many people actually go off-roading on these things?
Oh, a nugget, a mere, I'd say, probably not even 5%. So it makes 124 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 102 newton meters of torque at 7,000 RPM.
That's
so
not bad.
It's not bad, yeah. Which isn't, it's obviously, it's got a fair amount of torque and a fair amount of power for a 900 triple. So
how heavy is the old girl?
Well, there's no actual numbers here at the moment.
That's going to be quite heavy then. It looks pretty heavy. I mean, I know you can't really tell, but
it does look a bit. It looks sturdy.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't. It kind of looks like a big adventure bike rather than a Tenere or a Desert X type thing, doesn't it? It looks pretty substantial. But I guess because of the engine, this is their all-in-one, isn't it? I think it's got to be, it's got to look like a big adventure bike, or it's at least appeal to a big adventure bike riders, and at the same time they use the sort of middleweight engine. So
I think it might be one of those things that looks a lot better when you're stood next to it. Or
Yes.
maybe even sat on it.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. These kind of they haven't done us any favors with the press picks. They're all kind of studio statics, and then there's no sexiness in it, which is it's a bit of a shame. Like I said, we've had this under embargo, and we have no kind of key sort of stats. There's no key numbers in it, so there's nothing about weight, unfortunately, or anything like that. Any tech specs, but yeah, I can tell you that. The seat height is 870 mil, so it's not massive, which can be lowered to 850, and the ground clearance is 230 mil. So we've got Bridgestone Battle Axe A41 tyres on.
I don't even know what that is. That a cast frame? Looks weird, doesn't it?
No idea. I like the trellis rear body though.
That looks
subframe.
very nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
That looks like the RS titanium subframe on the new Multistrada. Very similar.
So suspension-wise, we've got a Sash fork, or Sax for the uneducated. It's a 48 mil adjustable compression, rebound and preload. And we have a Sash monoshock, which guarantees rear-wheel travel of 210 millimetres. Preload can be practically managed via a dedicated knob.
Is that a bloke that just follows you around?
Yeah.
Changing your preload.
And we've got styling calipers on the front as well, so it's obviously got some decent kit on it.
I will say the wind protection. I mean, it's hard to get a gauge of scale, but the wind protection looks pretty good. Like out of all, like the Desert X was pretty much non-existent. Some of the other bikes in that segment, F800, not good. So, and for the taller amongst us, wind protection is quite important. And it looks like it's like a split screen there, so it looks like you can move it up as well.
Obviously, I say obviously for those who can't see properly, it's a 21-inch front wheel.
Looks very skinny though, doesn't it?
It does. I think all 21-inch road tyres look skinny.
Look at it. It's thinner than the fork. What's with the weird fan thing on the side? Did they mention that?
I'm just getting to that, Chris.
Okay.
I can't see anything
Because it's on both sides. It's like a sort of...
However, I can tell you something else. The rider can exploit the engine performance with a smooth and precise 6-speed gearbox, which can still be removed from the right rather than the left side.
It can be removed.
Yes, so it's obviously a cassette gearbox. The electronically assisted shift EAS system is in its 4.0 version, allows up and down smooth shifting. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, and look at that, talking about gearbox. Just in case when you're riding along,
Yeah.
you're not sure which way to go.
Oh yeah,
There's a sticker
Yeah.
down on the side of the bike
Yeah,
where your foot
I
is.
really
So
like that.
Just have a quick look at that.
yeah. Needless to say, I just added that bit, by the way. The MV Agusta Enduro Veloce boasts an exceptional electronics package. The 6-axis inertial platform collates significant dynamic data that is processed in real time, with the electronics using this to determine intervention. So we've got 4 riding modes: urban, touring, off-road and custom all-terrain.
Seat looks nice. It looks very nice and textural, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. I can't think what it is. There are 8 levels of traction control, 2 levels of engine braking, and there's even launch control.
But you'll probably find that all that tech is the same. It's just the same thing.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
So they
They
just
just
go,
bolt
well,
it on,
we
yeah.
may as well stick it on.
Yeah. And apparently it's a claimed 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.72 seconds. It's quite slow, actually.
But it's so
Suppose it's
difficult
heavy,
to
isn't
measure on a bike, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like who launched it?
I think it was Stevie Wonder with the stopwatch.
It reminds me a bit of a Bimorta. Is it a Bimorta?
Bimorta.
What was the tornado?
Oh, the Benelli tornado.
Benelli tornado.
Yeah. It is worth noting that the subframe, as sexy as it is, can be removed to facilitate maintenance or eventual replacement. So that's a big thing for... What?
I just like.
It's not that funny.
Okay. It just sounds a bit like. Don't worry about it. Fuck it. It just sounds a bit like, because it's an MV Agusta, it's gonna break so badly. You need to remove the subframe.
No, because
fix
obviously
it.
everyone went absolute nuts when the Tenere first came out, because it didn't have a a removable swing arm. So if you crashed it and you bent the subframe, then that was it. You're fucked. So
Swing arm or swing
sorry,
arm.
did I say swing arm?
So
Subframe.
you said both. Okay, yeah,
Subframe.
separate. Right.
So and then obviously all the people that were raging about it, probably 1% might take it off road.
Right. Okay, that makes a bit more sense now. I thought it was like a you were supposed to undo it
No,
on a
no,
regular
no,
basis
no.
to
No,
fix the bike.
bikes like these, unless you want an absolute ribbing from the public, the subframe has to be removable.
It's a bit like Maseratis and stuff. They sort of have this air of like expensiveness about them, but then all the buttons are a bit too rounded and blobular, and it's all a bit mahogany. Like, you know,
I like the dash.
Like the dash is nice,
Yeah.
but the inside of like an old Jaguar would have these sort of buttons on it. Wouldn't
Yeah, and for your money, you get a 4-year factory warranty.
4-year factory warranty.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, this is still very early days, and we've had all this stuff under Mbungo, so we've had no real fine details. It's just essentially just a PDF with some information, press information. So, yeah, we haven't got the hard numbers, but yeah, be interested to see what it weighs. I'm going for 225.
I mean, the most interesting thing I find about it is that they've made it, but it doesn't look like anything KTM-y on there.
Absolutely, there's nothing. I mean, the only thing you might say is quite KTM-y is the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the plan from what I've heard is that the MV stuff is going to remain 100% Italian, and everything else in the Pira Mobility group obviously will carry on doing what they're doing. But yeah, they're essentially investing in the brand, which is no bad thing.
No. Would you buy one? How much is it? Does it say how much?
There's
it
no
is?
prices, no price. So UK price and availability will be. I'm actually riding this in a month's time. So yeah, looking forward to getting out there and giving it some beans on the old girl. But yes, price and availability will be available then. So we'll let you know.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.